Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. A rainy Tuesday afternoon, a cold and rainy Tuesday afternoon, and it might be feeling a bit cold and rainy in California for Prince Harry right now because his name has been splashed all over the media in the same breath as the scandal around Sean Combs, P. Diddy, and the fact that the feds have now raided the houses that he owns in LA and Miami, looking for evidence in conjunction, evidence related to trafficking, a trafficking case. I'm leaving out an X, let's put an X trafficking in there so you know what's going on, to do with underage girls, drugging them, offering them up at parties, the best parties. He apparently organized the best parties with these girls. And I'm quoting from the court papers now. It says, affiliation with and or sponsorship of Combs' ex-trafficking parties garnered legitimacy and access to celebrities and international dignitaries like Prince Harry. And just to make it clear, these are the court papers that have now been released in the light of these raids. Prince Harry isn't accused of any wrongdoing. I have to make that very clear. No wrongdoing in these court documents. He is simply there because his name was touted, was obviously offered up to people. Pay money, sponsor these parties, give me tons of cash, and I'll facilitate access to Prince Harry, along with various other international dignitaries and celebrities. But Harry's name is the only high-profile name that is mentioned in these documents and that is now being splashed all over the press. It can't be comfortable reading for him, if he can read, which I always say, and it does have echoes, of course, of Prince Andrew and his scandal with J.E. and the underage girls there. So, horrible echoes, a tawdry tale. I'm going to have a look at it reluctantly, I have to say, but I think it could be a big story in Harry's life. It could be a big turning point in Harry's life, and that is why I'm looking at it, that he could be not guilty by association, but tainted by association, as Prince Andrew certainly was tainted by association. So Lunar Soul Tarot, and we're looking at this tainted by association thing because they go back to 2007, Prince Harry and Sean Combs, P. Diddy, to the Diana tribute concert that Harry and William organized. And then a friendship seemed to develop. And clearly it must have developed if the court documents can so confidently state that Sean Combs offered access to Prince Harry or promised access to him. I'm not saying Harry was complicit in any of this, but just that he seemed confident that he had the contact and he could maybe get Harry to shake someone's hand or whatever at some event. That's all that's kind of being suggested in this claim in the American courts right now. And of course, other big stories breaking in the world that have kind of pushed this down a bit. The awful tragedy in Baltimore, the bridge disaster. But still the story is around and it doesn't look good. So I'm going to do a Celtic cross with the Lunar Soul Tarot. And I'm just going to do it from Harry's point of view because the Parkles are certainly going through a bit of a torrid time, unexpectedly for them. I'm sure some of their associates are rather toxic at the moment. There's been the Miss and Harriman photoshopping moment. There's been old bot guy, I don't say his name, don't want to say his name, him. There's been some front page headlines about him and his bots, and now this doesn't look good. Do a reading now from Harry's point of view and just see what's going on with him, and is this going to impact him, and if so, how badly? How does he feel about it right now? How close were they? What do you know, if anything, about any of this, and what's going to happen ultimately? And we're ready to go. Sorry, it's taken me a while to get these cards, just to get into the right energy. Funny cutting, but it's just the way it happened. It's not because I've pre-ordered this. I just do what feels right in the moment, and sometimes it does come out a bit weird. Make sure I haven't put 2 cards down there. So let's remind you that this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all my opinion. It's all speculation. I just read energy here. And disclaimer in the box below, very important, because we're dealing with a court case. And again, as I say, no implication of Prince Harry himself directly. Our underlying energy is the moon in reverse, and that is stuff coming out. Stuff that has been buried, hidden, and obviously what was going on at these parties was hidden and is now emerging. That's the moon. When the moon is in reverse, light starts to come into a situation, and things that were hidden in the shadows and that were cloudy and confused suddenly get revealed. And they can be quite toxic things that go on in the muck, in the mire with the moon, because the moon deals with things that are going on in the subconscious, and obviously that's where the shadow stuff sits, and the shadow stuff is what we project out, what we try to hide. But inevitably what is in our shadow aspect is projected out and is noticed and seen in the world around. And so here it is. We're dealing with toxic things, with shadow energy, with things that people would like not to acknowledge about themselves, maybe the company they keep, maybe the things they do behind closed doors that they don't want the general public to know about, or that they don't even want to acknowledge about themselves. And that is moon energy when it is in reverse. That is our underlying energy. It's a very interesting card to come out. The shadow has fallen, but the shadow is now being noticed and observed by the Daily Mail and various other newspapers. The situation from Prince Harry, what do we have? We have one of the extras in this tarot decks, the Wu Wei card. It has extra major arcana. That one is, when it's in the upright position, about going with the flow, going with the energy, not resisting, being I don't want to say easily led, because that's not at all what I mean. Being in sync with the energy. And now that it's in reverse, it's kind of going against the energy flow. It's struggling against the inevitable. That's how it's coming across for me. That the situation, it's major arcana again, that's the situation that's going on for Prince Harry is something that he's trying to swim against. He's trying to swim upstream instead of going downstream. He's trying to resist it. And people are speculating that the Parkles might have known that the story was going to break. That's just wild speculation. These court papers were filed, I think, about a month ago. And people are speculating that the Parkles might have known that this was coming for some reason, somehow. I don't know how. And that is why there's been the scramble to rebrand themselves, the Sussex.com website, the new herself with her new brand that she's launched, that silly orchard thing, going out and doing fall royaling in Texas, and then at the art gallery, at that art event. All a bit sudden, all a bit forced, all a bit strategic. And also the pile on Princess Catherine when she disappeared and didn't want to tell anybody what was going on. That terrible pile on distraction and deflection. And that for me is this Wu Wei energy in reverse, this resisting what is coming inevitably. So let's see what his problem really is, and that of course is just speculation, but the timing is a bit sus. What is his problem here? And we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And this is about harvest. The Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Discs is about reaping what you have sown. Just Desserts kind of a card. When it's upright, you've done well, you've invested wisely, you've put time and effort into the right things, and there are benefits. But when it's in the reverse, you've frittered away your opportunities, you've wasted your life, and now comes a really bitter harvest. And I think that for me personally, that does seem a rather interesting card, a rather telling card, that if Harry has chosen to foster these kinds of relationships, these kinds of friendships, and there has been rumor and scandal around Sean Combs. I hope I'm saying his surname right, just by the way. He's not somebody that ever enters my consciousness normally. But if this is the kind of friendship that has been fostered, this is the kind of company that Harry has chosen to keep over almost 20 years now, then perhaps there's a price to pay. Seven of Discs in reverse. Because as I said, this man P. Diddy has had a cloud over him for a long time. There have been accusations for a long time. Again, I'm not accusing Harry of anything except perhaps being unwise in his choice of friends, just a bit like his uncle and godfather, Prince Andrew. So let's have a look at what's going on behind the scenes right now. What was known? Hidden energy. What did Harry know about this? What did he know? I've got the Three of Wands in reverse. That is an association that has not prospered with the Three of Wands in reverse. Perhaps at some stage he saw this as something that would be beneficial and exciting, and showbiz connection and the best parties as have been described. Everybody says Sean Combs gave the absolute best parties. But certainly behind the scenes, down in his heart of hearts, where it's hidden, Moon card, in his subconscious, hidden even from himself possibly, he might have realized that this was somewhat unwise. Three of Wands in reverse, that this wasn't an association that was going to flourish or bring positive results. Let's just say I'm not getting any sense of guilt or complicity in any of this, and again, I'm not accusing him of it. I just want to know at a level of awareness or of a sense that this was perhaps a toxic association and shouldn't really be fostered. I'm getting it with that Three of Wands, that he at some stage maybe realized that this is not going to end well. With the Three of Wands in reverse, you always get the sense with that card in reverse, this isn't going to end well. Me reading energy. What's Harry's mind on right now? Focus on, and it's gone very dark again. Here on the tarot table, Page of Wands in reverse, bad PR, negative publicity. Literally the Page of Wands in reverse, that's what it's about. Wake up in the morning and this is all over the newspaper headlines, front page of the newspapers. Can't believe it. Already bad press with, as I say, the photo, the Miss and Harriman thing, with the bot story, the Parkles being dragged into that by name. The newspapers are quite open about accusing them of being associated with people who are sending out these firestorms onto the royal family. And now this, it just looks terrible, and Harry knows it. He knew it wasn't going to go well, and he knows how bad it looks right now. So tell us about past association, friendship. How was it? How deep was it? How extensive was it? Anything universe wants to tell us about the past energy. And we have the Hanged One here, and it's not a happy card. The Hanged One is a card of being hung out to dry, a card of being powerless, sacrificed, victimized, self-pity. Also, that's not the main energy that's coming through, I have to say. The main energy is the also, but it's the main energy. It's Neptunian energy, and Neptune rules drugs. So perhaps some of the hanging out and some of the connection was through that Neptunian energy. And Harry has been very open about his drug use. And that card for me is about drug use. And in these claims, in this court proceedings, is the allegation that these underage girls were drugged to make them compliant for the people that were paying for these parties, on the understanding that they would get access to very high profile people. And I would say that because the Hanged Man, as he's hanging upside down in this sort of altered state, he gains different perspectives. That's the Hanged One, that's what the card is about, seeing the world differently, gaining insight, seeing things differently. There was some connection through that. As I say, altered states of consciousness. It seems to be how they bonded. That is my interpretation, and I don't think I'm far off the mark, given the court papers and given Harry's own admission of his drug use. So I think that is how they connected, what the connection was. What's coming next for Harry? What's he going to do? Is he going to come out and make a statement? Is he's going to lay low? What's going to be his response, or what is coming towards him next? And we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. This isn't a situation he's going to be able to weasel his way out of. There you can see upright, somebody rowing away from the cups that have been spilt, basically, and the sorrow and the loss that the Eight of Cups represents. It's going to stick with him in the coming days, because the card is in reverse. It means he's not going to be able to distance himself from this, detach himself from this stain on his reputation. It's going to be difficult for him to get away from this story. It's going to follow him around. He's already not responded to a scandal, and that is the Africa Parks scandal about the abuse by the guards, the rangers hired by African parks of the local indigenous populations. A horrible story, also a lot to do with violence and assault against women. And this story really also revolves around mistreatment of women, underage women in this case, underage girls. So it's going to stick with him, much as he might want to deny it or put his head in the sand about it. It's going to be very difficult for him. So how does he personally view the situation right now? And we have the Four of Discs. He is trying to calm the situation down. He's trying to almost shut it down. You can see in this card, somebody's got their hands full of stuff, and they're trying to get through a door, and they're going to have to put something down in order to get through the door. It's the refusal to let go of control. It's a very good illustration of the energy of the Four of Coins, Four of Discs, because it is about this. If you want to move, you're going to have to let go of something. But it's the desire to control this, to stay stable. I would say that he's got people on this. He thinks that he can turn this around. He can silence people. He can shut this down. He can make sure that door doesn't open to more. And there might be more in this story. I'm not speculating about that at all in this reading. I'm looking at how he's feeling right now, that the story has broken, and his name is the only high profile name that is mentioned. We're going to look a bit at why that is in the next reading. Pressure that Harry is under at the moment. What pressure is? The Page of Cups in reverse. It's communication energy. He might be dealing with quite an upset spouse who's having a bit of a moment and sobbing on the floor with that Page of Cups, and you need to apologize, and why have you done this, and I can't believe this is happening. That kind of energy is coming through for me, a little bit hysterical, having to try and calm her down, which would also be in this Four of Discs energy of just everyone calm down. That's the kind of feeling that I'm getting from this. He's used to being front page news for all the wrong reasons, and then people coming along and cleaning it up for him. We had the nasty uniform stunt all those years ago, and of course Vegas, and it all got cleaned up and it all got buried, and the drugs also got cleaned up. It got disappeared. He thinks this is going to be cleaned up and disappears if he just sits tight and doesn't move and doesn't panic, just like the African Parks thing has gone quiet, except in certain social media platforms where people keep reminding about it. But the press has forgotten about it. Press doesn't care. And right now, his pressure is, I think, from within his world, from his home, from his partner, from Meghan, and people around him who might be saying, oh no, this is just too terrible, and you know, how are we going to cope, and what are we going to do? A bit of panic I'm getting in that Page of Cups, even in reverse. His hopes and fears, this ghastly story. It truly is a ghastly story. I can't stand stories like this. Six of Discs in reverse. He's worried that this is going to cost him some, that he is being unfairly hung out to dry, because it's a kind of unfair treatment, the Six of Discs. Reciprocity, when it's upright, equal, give and take, sharing, being charitable and kind and generous and supportive. In reverse, somebody benefits and somebody else suffers. And so I think that he is worried that he is really being hung out to dry. And we do have the Hanged One in this reading, which is the energy of being victimized, of being hung out to dry. So he certainly is concerned about this, that this isn't fair, and that is why I suspect there might be lawyers involved down here with this Four of Discs energy of what he's up to right now. His sense of the situation is that he needs to shut this down. What is going to happen ultimately? How bad is this going to get for him? We see in the near future it's going to taint him. He's going to struggle to put this behind him and move on. But what's going to happen ultimately? It's going to be a big problem for him. It does look like it. Five of Wands in reverse. And again, in this card, we get the sense of one person who's being attacked and beaten up by everyone else. Everyone's going to pile on. And that's what's going to happen. And he's going to be in Uncle Andrew territory. And I had already decided to read on that next today. But it's only confirming for me that that choice was correct. And the pile-on is not going to end anytime soon with this. And he's going to feel that it's very unfair and that people are just picking on him. And why not pick on someone else? Someone, you know, why are you picking on me? I haven't done anything. Go and pick on someone who has done something. Very Uncle Andrew territory. Five of Wands, upright, competition, challenging people, infighting, that kind of energy. In reverse, you can say, oh, well, that's finished, it's done. I don't think so. I think it's going to escalate. And I think that, you know, the saying of there's no honor among thieves. It's that kind of energy. I'm not accusing anyone of being a thief here. But there has been wrongdoing, allegedly. Hence the court case, hence the raid by the feds, raids, more than one. And it looks like the situation is going to become one of either people getting away with stuff and Harry being singled out for attack and criticism and punishment, even because the Hanged One has that punishment energy in it as well. And coming back to this, that his issues, his shadow self, might be the one that is exposed and picked on and criticized, whereas other people's rather dodgy behavior or inclinations, shall we just say, or company or whatever, I'm picking my words very carefully, they're going to be hidden and are going to get away with stuff. We've got Moon in reverse here. Not so easy for him to walk away from this untainted. The moon in reverse, very much tainted energy for me reading these cards that have a generally very icky feeling, and I'll be very glad to put them away and end this reading. Thank you for sticking it out with me, and see you on the next one.